Glück auf YouTube und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Half-Life 2, Episode 2, Kommentar der Entwickler. Ja gut, Aufnahme läuft, Mikrosound ist auch da. Kapitel 5, Unter dem Radar. So, das Bier ein kleines bisschen rüberstellen.
You weren't kidding. We'll be back on the road in no time.
Well, that could be a problem. You hear that autogun going off out there? We normally run supplies out of the White Forest base, but a few days ago the Combine cut off access.
What do you think, Gordon? Maybe while I'm getting the car fixed up, you can see about clearing up that roadblock.
All the fresh zombies coming out of City 17 have kept them pinned down. It's just a matter of time till the troops start pushing this way. If you think you're up to it, we'll let you out there.
Huh. He's always up for it. Right,
Sure.
Gordon?
We got a trap door up here where I can let you over to the other side. That way you'll get to see the gun before it sees you.
Here's your ammo. Fine. Hold on a sec.
Originally, there was a second driving section between the chopper battle and the autogun trenches. The pacing felt wrong, so we decided to remove it and connect the end pieces so that the train yard opens directly into the garage.
Okay.
Good luck taking out that autogun.
Oh, hey. Aha. Clipping-Fehler.
Playtesters often fail to recognize that they could scramble through windows while they were avoiding being shot by the autogun. We added this window exit and forced players to use it so that they would learn to rely on windows to get around.
Okay. Die Tür geht offensichtlich nie auf. Bloody hell. Yeah, sure thing. Sup? Triple kill. Nice. Pischt jetzt. You can't get. Oh ja. Das Auto versinkt tatsächlich. Ammo. Ist natürlich die Frage, also erstens, ja, das andere Geraffel wird natürlich in die Suppe gefallen sein. Einerseits, ja, ist dort hinten auf dem... Should be. Yeah, no. Okay, ich bin nicht für Sightseeing hier.
Some playtesters didn't realize that they would need to climb over trucks to navigate around the autogun emplacement. So we added this truck jump early in the level as a form of introductory training.
Okay. Ja gut, das ist eben halt... Yes. Das ist eben halt, wenn man das Spiel hier schon in- und auswendig kennt, dann ist das teilweise schwer nachzuvollziehen. Aber ich meine, wie gesagt, die Playtester, dadurch, dass einige Spielmechaniken damals vielleicht noch relativ neu waren, naja, ist... teilweise... subdued. Ja. Freilich.
In order to train players that crouching through the trenches is critical for survival, we did several things. First, we start the player in the safe position by forcing them to crouch under the fence to enter the area. Once inside, they learn by watching the zombies. Upright zombies are gunned down, but their torsos are free to roam in the shadow of the junk. Some playtesters believe that while the guns were busy shooting zombies, they would be able to move freely. To counteract this impression, we increased the number of guns from 1 to 3, making it clear that there was always going to be a gun free to shoot the player.
Okay. Die beachten uns gar nicht so richtig, die Zombies. Ah, Pacer Piss. Ah, eine Sentry. Steht das denn mit Mistvieh? Dort. Gut, das hat sich geklärt. Fuck off. Ja, schieß halt auf die bösen Kisten. Ihr könnt halt auch erstmal die ganze Bude zu Klipp schießen. Das bringt euch auch nichts. So, hier ist keine Sprechblase. Hier hinten drum ist auch nichts weiter. Moin. Aua, aua, aua. Dreckvieh.
Zombies serve the double purpose of horror and humor. Here, since we knew where the player's view would be, we added a comical scene of a fast zombie torso running away from a soldier.
Okay. Guess I missed that one. Das war jetzt mich ganz schön böse erwischt, ja. What? Kräpe. Oh hey. Sup? Hey. Ja. Reinforcement bringt. Brauche ich auch nicht mehr viel. Aha, der hat sich also im Hinterraum versteckt.
The original design for this sequence involved shutting down the cannon by flipping a switch. That was neither obvious nor rewarding. We decided to let the player blow it up instead. which gave us another opportunity to use our cinematic physics.
Ist ehrlich gesagt doch ein bisschen befriedigender, dass du die Knarre dann in die Luft jagen kannst.
Hey, Gordon, the car's ready. Come on back and we'll get going.
Sofort.
Once we added the onboard radar to the Strider battle at the end of the episode, we needed to train the player in its use well before they reached that area. This garage was already in the game as a place where Alex needed to stay while the player went alone through the autocannon area. It was a perfect fit to have the mechanic rebels add their radar to the car while Gordon was busy somewhere else.
Come on, Gordon, get in. Not only did they help me fix the car, they threw in a bonus.
Special this week only. It's like an onboard radar for you guys. Picks up little beacon jobbers like this one here. We've hidden a bunch of these things out there in the field to signal emergency stashes. So keep an eye out. When you see your dashboard light up, you're gonna want to stop and investigate.
I'll fill you in on the road, Gordon. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. The radar's going off, Gordon. Stop the car, Gordon. There's a lot of energy that goes into shaping Alex and making sure she stays on the right path or stays true to the vision that I think we have for her. You know, I want Alex to be liked. I know everybody at Valve wants Alex to be liked. But what is really great is that if I get off course or if I've been in the booth too long and I'm starting to sound a little naggy, then I have somebody who's there to kind of pull me back and say, hey, why don't you try it this way, or I think you're veering off course and starting to sound like like somebody's mother or something, you know, because I'm there to help if you're lost, you know, the get goings or stuff like that, to help keep the game moving and keep you on track. And you know, there's a kind of a fine line. You don't want somebody constantly bothering you, but you also want a friendly companion. You know, you want somebody to help you out once in a while. So trying to not go one way or the other was a bit of a trick for us.
Ja, wenn da die ganze Zeit jemand auf die Ketten geht, nur weil du dich mal ein bisschen hier umguckst, das ist dann auch nicht so das Wahre. Aha. Verschwinde. Ah.
I guess you cleared up that little problem.
Warum so viele Magnum Rounds? Ach, dafür. Alex, könntest du? Danke. Deswegen so viele Magnum Rounds. Ich verstehe aber immer noch nicht, warum hier kein Fadenkreuz ist. Das macht das Zielen reichlich sinnlos. Und warum gibt es ja keinen Kommentar dazu? Zu diesem kleinen Gag hier. Anyway.
Nice move. We're picking up something on the radar.
Schön mitgekriegt.
strong attention to visual design in this room make this unconventional puzzle both intuitive and rewarding. To begin with, the room is sparse, with a reward clearly visible but locked up in the cage. A strange centerpiece draws the player's attention, and the visible switch is obviously a part of the solution. The health charger next to the switch hints that the solution involves getting onto the catwalk rather than activating the switch from the ground. The van entrance discourages players from bringing in objects they might use to solve the puzzle by stacking. The lone grenade crate is a strong suggestion that grenades figure in the solution. And finally, the corpse in the rafters and the scorch marks on the ground, and the story they tell, provide the most important clue.
Oh. Ja. Jetzt, wo du sagst. Let's go rocket jumping. Das ist mir ehrlich gesagt noch gar nicht aufgefallen, dass da oben eine Leiche hängt. Congrats.
Rocket launcher. That'll come in handy.
I guess.
So the circumstances around creating Alex were so kismet that it's almost a little scary. I mean, if you think of the ideal super self that you want to be, like, I don't know, badass moves and being able to karate chop everybody, and then add on to that having a writer to make you sound witty at every turn, it's like having an uber self for me. So I immediately fell in love with Alex.
You found it. We'd never have known this was here without the beacon.
Sonst noch Probleme? Okay, dann hätten wir das.
You mind if I wait in the car?
Sure thing.
The approach to the White Forest Inn contains a number of elements that set the scene for the coming ambush. The road is blocked by Combine walls. A soldier spots you in the distance and radios you in, and 2 hunters run across an opening on the far side of a fence. All these clues are there for the attentive player to spot directly, or to create a sense of growing apprehension in the player who might be paying slightly less attention to the details.
Die Hunter habe ich wahrscheinlich verpasst.
So in each episode, we start by agreeing on how to use color choices to create and reinforce the right thematic tone. The tint of a scene can be a powerful source of mood. Episode 1 was pervaded by deep reds. For episode 2, we made heavy use of blue tints in the outdoor areas. The blue was meant to set an ominous tone, while the warm splashes of sunlight were intended to offer visual contrast that suggests a glimmer of hope.
We're picking up something on the radar.
White Forest Inn. Ach ne. Da waren die zwei Hunter. Okay.
Go ahead. Now, a question I get asked a lot is, what is the big difference between acting for stage and film and then acting for a video game? Because this is the first time I've ever done a video game. In general, in acting, it's helpful to have a director's clear vision from which to spring. Then the actor can run with the idea, play with it, imagine new things, fill it out, and make it a tangible thing or a tangible character. And the great thing about video game acting for me is that I'm completely unlimited. I'm not bound by what I can do physically or how I look or what kind of environment that can be physically created. So the possibilities are completely limitless. There are no boundaries with this. So when we get together and we talk about what the scene is, when they set the stage for me and what environment I'm going to be in, I immediately get a complete high, and I can only imagine that it is something like how somebody gets when they actually see the game, because it blows my mind, the pictures that they paint about where we are, what situations we're in. So we discussed that a little, and then from there, it just kind of go on, I guess instinct is the only way I can really describe it, because I just take what they give from me and kind of volley it back in the way that it comes out immediately. So I just go into my little dark booth, and I can imagine that I'm anywhere. And it's the best kind of make-believe for a storyteller. When you just aren't limited.
Das... Ja, ich meine, gut. In der Filmwelt sind die Grenzen inzwischen auch nicht mehr so krass. Durch CGI und was es jetzt alles gibt, aber ich meine, damals, klar, da war es eben halt so PC oder generell Videospiel. Da hat es eben halt noch ein paar mehr Möglichkeiten. Sagen wir mal in Hollywood. Moin. Yeah, it's a trap. Who would have guessed? For fuck's sake. Piss off. I hope so. Ich mache erst den Kampf. Danach höre ich mir die Kommentare an. Weil sonst wird es einfach nur Brühe. Ich versuche mal zu merken, wo überall die verschiedenen Kommentare sind. Also ich hoffe, dass ich es noch merken kann. Aber man ist ja normalerweise nach dem Kampf noch eine kleine Weile hier im Haus. Alex, sag doch Bescheid. Reset, please. Take him down. Ist gut, wenn ich wüsste, wo die sind. Mal sind sie im Haus, mal sind sie nicht mehr im Haus.
The data packet.
Now what? Get over here.
These hunters are tough.
Or, indeed.
This place is a death trap. Let's get out of here. Get back.
Death trap. Death trap for who?
3 at a time. It's too much. Let's get moving before they send more.
Okay, hold on, Alex. Also, wo? Da draußen ist ein Kommentar, da kommen wir gleich hin. Hier geht's wieder in den Keller, hier war nix. Hier ist ein Kommentar.
To complement the hunter's aggressive AI, the White Forest Inn was designed with a non-linear floor plan. There are multiple ways in and out of each room, as well as alternate routes to the basement and to the second floor. As the player moves through the inn, the hunters often select a shorter route and surprise the player by arriving first or by heading them off altogether. The last hunters that enter the building destroy 2 of the doors that have trapped Alex and the player inside. Removing these obstacles opens the entire outdoor arena for combat, allowing the player to choose whether to fight the hunters within the building or take them on outside.
Ja, gut. Ich hab die immer im Gebäude kalt gemacht.
Power supply for this force field.
Ja, sofort.
The inn is designed as a crafted experience that is controlled but not linear. The encounter is intended to create a heightened sense of danger without actually being particularly dangerous. The idea is to create opportunities for some memorable unscripted combat moments by keeping the player a bit on their heels. Normally, Alex is out of frame during combat and soldiers don't survive very long. By encouraging the player to move back from the windows, the map creates space for Alex and the soldiers to exhibit interesting behaviors that reinforce the mood of the siege.
The wire runs back up the hill to those buildings.
Ja, Alex. Hab's verstanden. Das war wahrscheinlich mal ein Stall. Okay, here's noch ein Kommentar.
One issue with a number of our encounters with the Combine is they don't live long enough for players to experience some of their more interesting AI. Some unique elements introduced here with respect to the Combine are branching assaults, so the soldiers introduced to the field don't take up predictable positions, flexible assault points, so that soldiers can stray from designer-specified locations to establish line of fire or cover. Assault progression, a feedback system so that soldier advances respond to player actions and skill rather than timing. Giving soldiers different tactical roles. For instance, squads in the field distract the player, allowing other soldiers to execute surprise moves not present in our typical frontal assault scenarios. The net effect of these changes is that the soldiers appear to have awareness of the layout of the building that you're trapped in, and a strategy for flushing you out.
Ja, gut, das ist eben halt The White Forest Inn. Ach, guck. Das sind die 2 Zimmer, wo man nicht reinkommt. Interesting.
More of them coming.
Treffer. Die intelligentesten sind nicht, sagen wir es mal so. Die Kombin-Soldaten. Ich weiß auch ehrlich gesagt nicht, wie die auf den Namen Combine gekommen sind. Weil eine Combine oder naja gut, Combine Harvester. Das ist glaube ich ja, natürlich. Mähdrescher. Does that work? Niet. Beziehungsweise Harvester ist eigentlich Mähdrescher, aber irgendwie. Oder. Naja, eine Combine. Auf jeden Fall war es irgendeine andere Maschine, soweit ich weiß. Peace up, please. Any more? Yet,
There's the
спасибо.
power source for the shields.
Huh. They haven't skimped on security either.
Let me see if I can disable the shields and get you closer to the reactor.
Okay, it looks like I can open them from here, but I won't be able to come in with you. Here goes.
Sorry, Gordon. This thing's fried. Since I can't help you in there, why don't I stand watch outside while you disable the power cell?
Das klingt gut.
Surprises for one day.
Das klingt gut. Du stehst Wache und ich mach die Arbeit. Ah, yes. How about no?
That should have done it. Let's go see if the force field's down.
Let's hope there's no more Combine between here and White Forest.
We'll see. Ich weiß allerdings jetzt auch wieder nicht, wo das nächste Kapitel losgeht. Also das letzte Kapitel dann, glaube ich. I guess we'll see. Warte mal. Wir sind jetzt Kapitel 5. Unter dem Radar. Ach so. Okay. Kapitel 6, unser gemeinsamer Feind. T-1. Es sind also tatsächlich noch 2 Kapitel. Okay. Also jetzt noch 2 Kapitel zusätzlich zu diesem. Ah, okay.
Sometimes, even in an action game, it can be hard to convince players to act like an action movie hero. Here we wanted the player to make a 150-foot turbo jump off the edge of the road and crash into boxes at the bottom. Instead, wary playtesters routinely took the safe way down. To encourage more recklessly heroic behavior, we disguised the easy path and added obvious ramps to clearly communicate this was a legitimate feature of the level.
Okay. Naja, gut. The easy path down the road ist ja nicht. What? Fuck. Ist dahinter jetzt nur, diese Clipping-Fehler.
Look out below! Woohoo! Yeah!
Ist jetzt hier... Wie sollst du das denn sehen?
As I'm sure a lot of people know, I perform on Broadway. And sometimes people will show up at the stage door with Alex Vance posters to sign or just an encouraging word about the game and just, oh my gosh, I saw in the playbill that you played Alex Vance. And it gets me so hyped when people come up to me and are excited about the game because I don't get that immediate feedback that I get on stage every night. So when somebody tells me that they liked it face to face, it's really, really exciting to me. But so I guess a couple of people have taken pictures with me at the stage door. And I went through a phase where I wanted to know what people thought of the game. So I was looking on like message boards and checking out what the chat was. And I found this thread that had a picture of me with somebody at the stage door. And they're talking about, look, this is me with Alex Vance. And the first response was, she is so ugly. I thought that was cute.
Okay. Also, jetzt rein vom Game Model her, muss ich sagen, bin ich eher für Shell. Uepa. Wenn ich jetzt mal im Valve-Universum bleiben soll. Ich weiß allerdings auch nicht, wie der Real-Life-Counterpart von Alex aussieht. Also von daher kann ich das jetzt nicht beurteilen. Ich kann es ja mal dann in der Folgenpause nachgucken.
There goes the radar.
I'll stay here.
Kleinen Kommentar dazu. Get fucked. God damn it. Was ist da noch drin? Ah, Magnum Ammo. Brauche ich nicht unbedingt. Lade Daten.
That doesn't sound good.
In the source engine, we use a realistic radiosity lighting simulator to generate lighting detail for the geometry in our game worlds. In previous games using the source engine, shadows were simulated as if cast by totally opaque objects. In Episode 2, we needed to render large wooded areas, which required us to modify our shadowing technology to account for the sparse, semi-transparent nature of foliage. With these upgrades to our radiosity lighting simulator, we are now able to realistically illuminate the trees themselves, as well as generate soft, semi-transparent shadows on the environment around them.
Mm-hmm.
Over there. I see an antenna. Huh, I think that's White Forest. Well, we're close enough to make it the rest of the way on foot if we have to.
Our main goal with this scene was to create a cinematic battle of the Titans, dog versus a strider. While we were excited with the earlier implementations, it became obvious that players were uncertain of their role in the scene. Originally, the confrontation built slowly, with dogs squaring off against the strider. But having such a slow beginning proved problematic. It looked great in the trailer, but didn't play well in the game. Instead of the slow build, we decided to send Dog straight into action. He makes a grand entrance, jumps on the strider, and the fight is on. The quick start helps to grab the player's attention instead of giving them too much time to worry about what they ought to be doing.
The Strider has big parts of him that rip off. He spews goo everywhere. He's a great testbed for new modeling technology and our new particle system. We custom built him just for this sequence. With our episodic process, a lot of new technology comes online throughout development. Since any new technology takes a year or more to really work out all the bugs, we like to look for isolated areas, like this one, where we can test out new things without risking all the things we know already work. We did this with HDR in our Lost Coast demos. Once we're sure we didn't break anything, we can move the features back into general use. Since the Strider worked out really well here, he'll be the new Strider as we move forward, and we'll be applying what we've learned to any new monsters in Episode 3.
Alex's robot dog is cobbled together from spare parts, all of which are in various states of disrepair. For Episode 2, we chose to use shading techniques to improve the look of Dog and better convey his scrapyard origins. Along with upgrades to Dog's texture maps, his shader now uses a combination of Phong shading and environment mapping to increase the apparent detail and diversity of materials, from rusty bolts to the damaged metal flaps salvaged from a combine scanner.
Racing Dog to the base was not a preconceived plan. It was born out of testing the level over and over, and repeatedly trying to keep up with Dog as he ran to the base. This was sufficiently fun for us that we began to figure out ways to encourage players to do it too.
Okay. Ich komme immer noch nicht drauf klar.
Are you all right? Wake up, Dog. Please.
Es scheint aber kein menschliches Gehirn zu sein.
You're all right. You have me worried there.
Everything working all right?
Good.
You all right down there?
We're fine.
Dog okay?
Better now.
We've been waiting for you. Just follow the stream, then head up the other side. White Forest is right there. You can't miss it.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, let's go.
Come on, Gordon. Get the car and we'll challenge Dog to a race. Good boy.
Looks like we need your help again. Would you mind?
Okay.
Way to go, boy!
Okay, dog.
Race you to the base. Step on it, Gordon. This is it. We made it.
Better luck next time, Slowpoke.
Let us in.
Yo, let him through.
So, a really cool experience was that while I was at Valve, I was talking to one of the animators in the hallway, and we're just carrying on a conversation. I was getting to know what he did, and I just happened to be looking over my shoulder and noticed that people kept popping their heads out of their offices. And one of the other guys noted to me that these people, ooh, bless them, they have to sit around and listen to my voice all day long. So for that voice to be kind of just chatting in the hallway was a little weird. And I guess I kind of liken that. I can understand it because the very first time I saw my voice on Alex Vance's face, it was so bizarre. And so when I watch people talk to me for the first time and they've heard my voice as Alex, they have the exact same expression. I'm like, I understand. I get it.
Ja, das... Aber ich denke, das ist bei jedem Voice Actor oder Synchronsprecher, der halbwegs bekannt ist. So, wo geht jetzt das nächste Kapitel los? Offensichtlich hier. Gut, dann sehen wir uns im nächsten Kapitel. Bis dahin, macht's gut.